Welcome to the Sebcast, where we look deeper, ask bigger questions, and discover how Jesus is still changing the world. When people think of God's commandments, they often think of restriction. We hear words like don't, forbidden, and rules, and we assume that God is busy limiting our freedom. That's why many people ask, why does God give so many commands? But what if we are asking the wrong question? In Deuteronomy 30, Moses is about to say farewell to Israel. After 40 years in the desert, he says, I set before you today life and death. Choose life so that you and your descendants may live. It's remarkable. God does not say choose obedience. He says choose life. In other words, his instructions have always been about life. It's like a parent telling a toddler not to run into the street. The goal is not control, the goal is protection. Or like the engineer who tells you how much weight a bridge can carry. He is not trying to limit you, he is trying to prevent the bridge from collapsing. Our biggest misunderstanding is that we think God gives instructions because he wants to exercise power. But the Bible tells a different story. God gives instructions because he is the creator. He knows how life works because he is the one who designed it. We often try to build our own path. We trust our feelings, our intuition, or the latest cultural trends. And sometimes it seems to work for a while. But eventually we discover that a life built apart from God's wisdom begins to crack under the weight of its own decisions. Jesus understood this. He did not invite people to admire his ideas merely. He invited them to follow him, because he knew there is life in his words. Maybe there is an area of your life today where God's guidance feels uncomfortable. A relationship, a financial decision, forgiveness, integrity, generosity. The question is not whether his way is always easy. The question is whether you believe his way ultimately brings life. Because every command of God carries the same heartbeat. I want you to live. At SA Congregation, we believe God's word was never meant to bind us, but to set us free. That's why we want to be the #1 network for your life. A faith community where we help each other discover that God's wisdom is not the end of freedom, but the beginning of the life he created us for. Until tomorrow, take care.